Let's see, I think you guys should be able to hear me now as well. So today we'll be doing another session of the website reviews that we've done in the past. So what we'll be doing is reviewing your guys' websites, and yeah, that's about it. So we'll see if any of you want your websites reviewed. We've done this previously, and usually people get some pretty good insights and just overall feedback on their websites. So if you want your website reviewed, just send it across in the chat, and then I will start reviewing your site as soon as I can. But while we're waiting for people to kind of tune into the stream, what we'll just do in the meantime is that we'll work on the website I've been working on for a little bit. Um, so this website, essentially, I used it for one of the tutorials on the channel, and I wasn't really planning on using it to be 100% blunt with you. Essentially, just put this together to have it as kind of like a pinpoint on where we could do our tutorials from. Yeah, but I'm planning on using this website as kind of like the hub for the channel. So what we'll do is I'm going to put together this website. Once it's finally done, you'll be able to find a blog post. I'm going to make blog posts essentially covering the same topics that I cover throughout the videos, and kind of be a hub for all the resources that you'll need as well. So if you want to find a specific link to something, all of that will be on this website as well. So while we're waiting for people to send across their So while we're waiting for people to send across their websites, what we'll do is just work on this website. But if you do want your website reviewed, just send it across in the chat. Please say my name, Simon. Sure thing. So what we'll do is let me just post this on YouTube real quick so people can find the stream. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me do this. Do that. So if you want your website review, just put it in the chat, and then I'll get reviewing. Let's see. Okay, so that's posted. Cool, we're good to go. So what we'll just start off doing is working on my website until you guys send over your website. So we'll have to wait until people start joining slowly. I think I worked on this before we did our previous live stream. I'm not quite sure, but just a general update. I'm kind of just trying out the layout for the website overall. We still have a lot of like the basic stuff that comes with the actual templates themselves. So that's kind of where we are at the moment. And it's looking pretty good. I mean, it's not that bad. Let me do a preview of the website. I haven't looked at the mobile version of the website yet, which is definitely going to be a lot of things to improve. But I believe the last thing I was working on is the footer of the website. So yes, I think this is all part of the footer. Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Um, so for the footer, I do believe we were looking at some examples that we wanted to kind of like copy um, on our own website as well. So that's kind of like the last thing that we did. Let me see if, okay, we don't have any websites yet. So if you want your website reviewed, leave it in the chat down below, or I think it's on the side, depending on where you're watching. But if you want your website reviewed, it's for free. So please go ahead and just send it across. But yeah, with that being said, I want to probably try to layer this. So what I wanted to do is, I think we wanted to add 3 different menus in here. So that's why we added the columns. And then in the middle, what we want to have is the subscriber form. And I do believe this is just in the wrong color, I would imagine. So let me just see here. Yes, it's white. But I do believe we might want to make the actual background color of the footer darker than this. So if we manage the columns overall, let me see. So we have the layout. Okay, 1, 2. I wonder if we will need another one as well. I mean, it could be too much. So we want it to be, no, I think 3 will definitely be enough for what we're trying to do. So let me remove that one. Come on, can you, let me try it again. Manage columns. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Cool. Do we have any websites in the chat? No, no websites yet. When you want your website reviewed, just post it in the chat. Make sure you don't post a link, just post the name of your website. Otherwise, you'll just get automatically banned. I'm not quite sure why you get banned. I've kind of looked through the settings of the live stream, but it shouldn't be a problem. But apparently, it still is an issue. So I don't know if it's like a global setting for YouTube overall. Okay, cool. So while we are doing that, let me see. So we want horizontal menus, but we might want to actually build this on our own. Um, but let's use what we got from Wix and see what we can actually do with it. So it doesn't really matter which one we pick here. I mean, anything will really work fine. We just wanted to, wait, this will, no, exactly. Okay, so we can make our own menu, right? Because this wasn't an option before, which is actually a good feature that Wix has implemented. So before, when you added the menu, it would just straight up copy the separate menu that you have, kind of like your main menu at the top. So what it would do is just copy the same one. But I do believe choose menu to display. Okay, so they actually added this one. So that's good. So we can actually add a second one here, which is going to be our footer. And in the footer, we probably don't want to have the home page. We want to add our, I mean, we don't have that much content. So is it even worth building out the footer right now? Because ideally what I want to have in the footer is probably going to be like the contact page, maybe terms of service, but I'm not even sure I will have terms of service on the website. Other than that, I mean, the individual blog posts are probably going to be linked somewhere. But we'll have to probably think about that. So actually, never mind. Let me get rid of this. And then let's just make sure that we have a footer that works, which we do. So let me get rid of this as well. Let's get rid of this. Let's remove this piece of text as well. And then let me change the actual height of this, which is it gonna allow me to change the height of this element? If you want your website reviewed, please send it across in the chat. Just looking at the chat right now. So what we've done in the past is usually we'll have a lot of people joining in, especially if we do these live streams during the weekday. So hopefully we'll get some people joining in today, because these streams are really dependent on having people that actually want their websites reviewed. Um, so we'll see if we have any people who are willing to have their website reviewed, essentially. Well, why am I not allowed to change the actual height of the footer? I'm a bit confused. So we'll have, hmm, no, so we don't want to freeze our footer. Where do you change the actual size? I'm stretching. So like that's if you want to make it bigger, just the page height. So that's what I want to do, right? Because I don't want to make the page, I want to resize the footer. How do I resize the footer, Wix? I haven't used in Wix in such a long time. I wonder why. So, oh, okay. Actually, we have to do this, and then this is the one you stretch. Okay, that makes sense. So this might actually be our footer for now. Let's just make sure we're not crossing anything. No, that looks good. Cool, I think that will be just enough for now. So let's just keep it simple and clean for the footer. The rest of the page, these will naturally look different. I'll have to do the redesign of the actual, making sure we're using the right fonts. But other than that, I think that's fine. Here I want to add some sort of image or something on the side, and I'll have to update the content on these pages, which I'll have to dig into as well. Do we have anyone? So, hi, Good Cakery. If you guys want your websites reviewed, please just make sure you send them in the chat and don't send the actual link. Just send the name of your company so I can find it. Because if you do send a whole link, you'll just get automatically blocked in the chat, which you don't want to happen. So if you want your website reviewed, just send across the name of your company or the name of your domain, and then we'll dig in a bit deeper. Say hello from Vietnam. Well, I can. I wish I could say that name, but I really cannot. Um, that's interesting. We got people from Vietnam. Cool, cool, cool. If you guys want your website reviewed, send it across in the chat and then we'll get started. I'm just currently looking at my own website, which essentially is going to be like a resource hub for all the content that we have on the YouTube channel. Eventually, I'll add some blog posts in here talking about similar topics that we talk on the channel as well. So we'll have our what is the best hosting to use for my WordPress website, or which website builder should I use? Should I use Squarespace? Should I use Wix? Should I use Weebly? GoDaddy has their website builder, which I haven't even used yet, I don't think. But I think it's very, very basic, similar to what other domain providers also have. A lot of them have kind of like their basic website builder, which just lets you import a theme real quick and just get your website going. So I'm not sure how advanced it is, but given how big GoDaddy has actually gotten in the last few years, I wouldn't imagine if they spent a lot of money on their website builders trying to compete with the likes of Wix. Cool, 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 cool. Okay, so I think for the homepage overall, I think I'm happy with the layout. As I said, we need to change the actual layout of the blog posts. But once those are done, it's pretty much done. I have to add some sort of icon or image here. I probably have to resize a lot of the things on this page because, to be honest, it doesn't really look that good. Header image, I probably want to change this out as well. But let's just jump over to the blog section and let's see what we can do. So for the font on this one, that's Poppin. So that's fine. That's what we want to use. Let's see. The settings for our blog. Publish a date. Probably not that relevant. Reading time. Probably not that relevant. More actions menu. So what does this add? Okay, so that's like social sharing. Do I want to add that? Probably not. Description. Yes, probably. Views counter, that's fine. Comments, fine. Likes, we don't want that one. In terms of layout, do we want to keep this? We probably want it more structured, just as easy to navigate through. I would imagine something like this probably. Let's see, one column. No, that's way too big. Yeah, I think editorial looks good. Image ratio, those are all fine, all fine. Okay, so then for the design itself, blog menu, we want to make sure we're using Poppins, I believe we used. Poppins, let's see, probably bold on these for the actual categories. I think that's fine. Colors for that one is fine as well. For the posts, we also want to make sure we're using Poppins here as well, so we're keeping our consistency. So this is for the title, so we definitely want it to be bold. And then for the description, I'm not sure if I used another font for our text. Let me just have a double check on that actually. I haven't worked on this website in quite a while. Let's see, what do we use here? Okay, Poppins Extra Light is what we used. That's fine. Cool. So I think that looks good. Do we have any websites? Anyone want their website review? Okay, yes please, Good Bakery. Okay, so let's actually start off with Good Bakery. Good Bakery website. Let's see what we got. So Good Bakery. I wonder. Ah, it's actually London based. That's cool. Good Bakery. I'm guessing it's this one. Let me just double check with you. Am I on the right website? I would imagine so because I do believe this is a Wix website. It looks like it. Just first impression, if this is your website, I can see there's the spacing between the logo here at the top, or it's actually not even. Okay, so you added it as text. That's fine. But the spacing between the menu to me looks a bit odd. But let's confirm. Let's see if it's your website. Other than that, I mean, you do have, in terms of layout, it's not terrible. I mean, it definitely shows you directly when you land on the website what the website is about. I mean, even the domain name, Good Bakery, you would know from straight off the bat what you're gonna get once you get on the website. In terms of the actual content that we have on this page, though, especially the homepage for this website, what we have is not a lot of details around the company. Even though you have your cakes here at the top, I'm not sure I understand what you guys can provide me as a customer. And there's not a lot of clear call to actions as well. So the user journey on this website is not very clear. Um, you have these options at the top. So the main menu, that's fine. But in terms of the page content that we have on this actual website, we don't really have a lot of clear call to actions. So when I would say a clear call to action, let me see if I can find a good one. So what we probably want to look at is, I was looking for a plumber the other day. So I needed a plumber. And a lot of these have um, pretty good call to actions. Let me see this one. Okay, this one is not the best example in the world. Um, and even though you might think, okay, it's a totally different industry, but it essentially will work similar when it comes to the website design of your website. So just to give you a brief summary here, I don't want to watch this video to be honest. It's quite big, so I would definitely change that. But in terms of the actual call to actions here, you definitely have your call to actions with the number straight away. You have more information, or if you just want a live chat straight away. So you have these buttons which makes it really clear for you as a user how to get in contact with this company. In this case, I would definitely even shorten this. I would make it maximum two different options. When you're adding too many options, even the user gets confused. Like, where do I actually want to go? There's too many different things I can click on. So you want to try to limit the amount of things that the user actually can click on, because you want to make sure that the user lands on your landing pages and then slowly goes down your funnel on your website, eventually books or calls you or sends an email, whatever it is that you want, like whatever your conversion you're tracking on your website, you want to make sure that is completed throughout the website itself. Cool. Yeah, so for the homepage, just giving some more context as well, something I would definitely love to see on the homepage is a bit more of a story around this company, because I can tell it's a local shop, so it's definitely something the people want. If you compare it to like a big franchisee brand, we have McDonald's, for example, which is totally opposite of what this is. It's not really that personal, but if you have like a small shop, you definitely want to build up that small shop feel of your website, which I already kind of have. But I would love to get some more context of like why you started this shop, and who are the people behind this business. Has your grandma started all the secret recipes 100 years ago and now you're still doing following the same recipes? What is kind of like the story behind the company, just to sell what you're doing in more of a um, user friendly way. And yeah, other than that, I think we're just missing a lot on this first page. So I would definitely try to add in some extra content. The images are fine. I really like the images on here. I would just double check that they are optimized for speed as well. And then I would look at the spacing that we have here at the top as well. Unless we have anyone else who wants their website reviewed as well, I think I can keep going with Good Bakery here. But if you do want your website reviewed as well, just send it across in the chat. Just send the name of your company. Don't send the full link. because otherwise you'll just get automatically banned on the website itself. But here you go. So we have our about us section. So our cakes, blah 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 blah. So this is kind of what you want to mention on the homepage as well, but in shorter form. And then if the user wants to read more, you can just add a small button which says read more. And that way you're taking the user throughout the journey. Because if I was reading like a story, and then if I want to finish the story and if I want to read the rest of the story, I have to click on to the next page, which makes sense because you cannot have a page which covers all the different topics, especially the home page. You cannot have everything here, which also happens in some cases. But I think in this case, instead of having all of the content, which a lot of users or designers do or business owners do, in this case, what we'll have is instead we don't have any content. So it's a bit tricky to navigate through. Um, Jumping over to flavors. Okay, so here it kind of just lists the flavors that you have in the shop. I think that's totally fine. Um, I think it's easy enough for the user to understand. Maybe pricing would be relevant here. Sorry, relevant here. Because when we have a user, a lot of users are price conscious and they want to understand what is this going to cost me. Is there a different price for the red velvet cake compared to the carrot cake or the coconut cake? That is something that could be incorporated on the page as well. Gallery. So this is just a bunch of images on what you've done in the past. I think this is good. It gives the customer a bit of an idea of what you've done and what you're capable of. So if you have a special request, maybe you can have a look through, get inspired. Maybe you're like, okay, I want something similar to this one. They can call you up. They can be like, okay, I had a look at your website. I really like the cake, the fresh fruit topping on a vanilla cake. I really like that one, but I actually want bananas on top of my cake, for example. So this section is definitely good. What I would definitely try to add here as well is as before, we want to make sure the user have somewhere to navigate. So let's imagine you open this image right here. Maybe you can have a small call to action which says, if you like this cake, click here to order it now, or contact us to order this cake, or something like that, because that helps with the user navigation as well. Okay, I have no idea what you're saying in the chat, Gum. So I'm not sure. Maybe that's just the name of your website actually. Let me just double check real quick. Hopefully there's nothing. Okay. If there's something that shouldn't be shown on screen right now, I'm hoping there's not, but let's. Okay, no, we're doing good. Okay. And there's a lot of things in this. Okay, so we'll get to this website as well. Definitely have a lot of things to say. But other than that, I like the website. It's very simple. I think there's some things that you can definitely add to make it a bit more clear, especially the homepage. You have the order now page, which is good. Imagine if you add on the homepage two different options. If you want to read more about the company, you can click and you'll get to the about us section. And if you want to order straight away, because the user already knows what they're here for, they want to order, maybe it's a previous customer, whatever it is, just add the order now option as well. And even for the order now sections, you do have the flavors. Something that users might experience as well is that if you go to the flavor section and then you're like, okay, I want the coconut cake, and then from there maybe you go to the about us section, you have a little read through about what you do, and then you're like, okay, I want to order from this company. You go to order now, and then you're like, okay, what cake do I actually want? Um, you might want to have the flavors on the same page as you have the order page, or you can have them separate, but on the flavor page at the bottom, you can also have like a form, like a Wix form, simple Wix form that just adds the different flavors in like a drop-down menu when you send the actual um, let me see if I can have a good example of that. So if we go to, I think, the blog section, yes, I used this for examples in the past. So we have this example here which I showed someone. If you go to contact, let's see, contact forms. So what we can add is something similar to this. And then in here, we can add a new field, which is gonna be a drop-down list. And no, drop down field, yes, this one. And then in the drop down field, you can just add the different flavors. Maybe you want the user to be able to pick multiple flavors. I think you can kind of add to that experience of making the order process easier with these features that you actually have on Wix. Instead of asking users to just send you an email straight away, I think having the email form is a lot better way to do it, just from a user perspective and your perspective as well, because you're actually going to be able to track these conversions. If you connect it to, let's say, GA, Google Analytics, you'll be able to track these conversions. If you eventually end up doing paid ads with, let's say, Facebook or another social platform, you'll be able to track the conversions as well. But yes, that's something I would add on to it. But I think we are good with the Good Bakery. I think we added a lot of things in here. There's a bit of chat delay. Hi, I find your post on Facebook, I think. If you want your website reviewed, so add it here, Ter. Sorry if I butchered your name. If you want your website reviewed, please just post the name of your website in the chat, and then I'll find it through Google. But yeah, Good Bakery, good luck. I mean, your website looks good so far. You have to kind of make some final touches. I think you're at the stage where you already have your basic setup. Now it's just taking that extra step to make sure that your website works as hard as it possibly could. And you already have a blog section as well, which is good. Let me just have a quick look. Okay, I don't like the background image that you have on here. Because it doesn't really follow the same design that you had throughout the website. But yeah, other than that, I would just make those final changes. I think we can jump over to the next ones. We had someone join in from Vietnam. I actually was in Vietnam. No, it's like 2 years ago, but I really like it. It will be a bit hard for me to understand what's on this website. So let's see. Oh, you have the copy. Okay, it's so many things going on this website. So many different things. Just the home. I'm not sure. Maybe there's not a. There should be, but maybe you use home in Vietnam. Maybe everyone understands home. But that stands up out to me a little bit. Like, why would you have the home in English and then the rest of the menu items are in Vietnamese, right? And then I can see you have the option to translate. So let me actually translate the website and let's see what we get. Okay, so first issue, when you translate the website, the menu is still in Vietnamese, so it's a bit hard for me to navigate. I'm guessing this is more if you want to, yeah, probably like wholesale order. I'm not even sure what it's called, to be honest. It's called like pots. It's not the word I was looking for, but yeah, pots. So you probably want like wholesale people to be able to navigate the website. So it's pretty important that people are able to read the content itself. And I can see that most of it is not translated yet. Maybe you haven't started working on the translations. But yeah, the translations are going to be super important, especially for your type of business. What else do we have on here? So yeah, I mean the website. You have a lot of animations as well going on. And for my case, luckily I have fast Wi-Fi. I have a pretty good computer, so it loads in quickly for me. But this is definitely gonna take a big hit on the overall website performance of your website because you have so many animations. And animations can be used in a good way to make the website look better, uh, from a user perspective. But you can overdo it as well. Anything can be overdone, and I think in this case is definitely overdone. There's too many animations on everything that you have on the website, so I would definitely try to get rid of these animations just to not only save the performance of your website, but you have the secondary thing is that it doesn't really look that good. Maybe that's just my opinion. Maybe people love when people fly in and coming from left to right and up and down. Some people like it. I definitely don't. Especially, okay, going back to like the type of website that you're like a wholesale business. People who are on here are going to be professionals. It's not a B2C site, it's a B2B site. I'm assuming that you don't do B2C on this one. So just the way that the website is structured, I would definitely make some improvements on that as well. Um, in terms of the content that you have, okay, so straight away we found another issue here. So straight away you can see that these items are placed, they're layered below the main menu. It's not a big thing, but still, to me it looks a bit weird. I would definitely add some spacing in here. And for some reason, when I went to this page, the background color switched. Usually when you have a website, you want to keep it very consistent across all pages. Now we have a black background. When I click on this section, it's white and the title changed to blue for some reason. I think the font on this page is different as well. So here we're using Arial, and then down here we're using Avenir, and then up here Arial as well. Arial, so I mean, you probably try to use Arial on all your stuff. But I can see that some things are, so here we have Proxima down here and then Arial. So yeah, just try to be consistent with your font as well. Usually what I do is for headings or any kind of title, I have one font, and then if that font doesn't look good in terms of like the body content of the website, I would just add another font as well. So like maximum two different fonts. And that's just from a branding perspective as well. You want to make sure when a person lands on your website or sees you on social media or sees you on YouTube, they understand this is the same brand just by looking at the font. Same goes with your logo. You want to make sure your logo is recognizable. And up here, we just have a blue text, which is not even your logo. So it's not very recognizable. So from branding perspective, definitely not good. In terms of content, I'll give you a 10 out of 10 because you do have a lot of pages. I'm not sure if these are clickable or not, which they don't seem to be, or maybe they just take a long time to load. Let's see what happens. Hmm. And I can't even inspect your website. Okay, so I understand you have copyright of your website, but I will definitely remove this copyright plugin or whatever you have because I cannot even inspect the code of the website. And it's not very common to have. Not even Facebook or Google uses this. And if like big brands are not afraid of having people inspecting their website, I would not um, have this plugin stopping people from inspecting or saving images. Or I mean, I can copy text, so yeah, I will have a look at that. And let's see what's at the bottom right here. So what do we have down here? And I'm not trying to butcher you. I'm just trying to be helpful here. So please please take that in mind. At the bottom here, I mean, we do have a bunch of CSS code or something. So the color Arial 400. Did I do this? Is this something I did? Let's see. Let me refresh. Huh. So when you click, so when I click the button, I'm not sure what happened here. What actually? Hmm. Okay, that was actually on my end, so never mind. Nothing wrong with the site. Um, yeah, I think I've given you enough feedback so far. I think that will take you quite a while to work on. Just overall, just try to make your website consistent. This menu looks from it's from the 90s. I would definitely change the layout of the menu. If you want to keep it, that's fine. But just make sure you have the same fonts across your website. Make sure you have consistency in terms of the like basics of your website in terms of like the having the header the same across all pages, including your logo, including the same main menu, making sure that the background of the pages are the same, not jumping from gray to black. I think I noticed some of them were white as well in here. And what's this page? This page is even empty. So if you have an empty page, make sure you add some content on there as well. And I think that's about it. Let's jump over to the next one. So if you want your website reviewed, let's post it can I even talk? Post it in the chat, and then we'll have a look. We have one here, some Polish. That's fine. MMORPG called Ilion Online. Why is Polish game community? Is that the name of the website? Okay. Polish game community. This might be a bit hard to find. We have Statista here. Could be interesting to have a look at. Not that interesting. Gamerinformer.com. Polish Powerhouse. I'm guessing it's not this one. Polish Gamers. This definitely doesn't look like a gaming website. General information about our study. Interesting. Okay. Oh, okay, we got it, we got it. Thank you. Let's have a look. So it's probably gonna be this one. Yes. Okay, cool. So we have a Polish website right here, which is about gaming, so that'll be interesting. First of all, the logo at the top, you want to make sure you add some more spacing because it looks very crammed at the top. You just crammed in. I would maybe even put it here on the side because you do have a lot of space, and that way you can also shorten the header as well because it's quite high. The height of it is quite high. Um, your social media icons, I mean, these are fine, but if you move your logo, oh, you will not be able to see what I'm doing if I do that actually. How can I show this? Let's do this whiteboard, whiteboard free online. Please be the right one. No, it's not that one. Okay, cool. So what you could do, let me just paint a little bit. We can add in your logo right here. Then this would be your main menu. And then you can add the social icons maybe over here. And I think that would be like your header. Because currently what you have is that you have you have a header that's, let's try to make this square. You have a heading that's like this big. It's not really accurate, but almost. And then you have your logo, which is covering like all of this and like even closer. Let me make it even closer. It's like this. And then you have your main menu. And then where's the social icons? And then like social icons like crammed in here. So I would definitely try to have like a rethink about the structure of the heading. Try to make it something similar to this. I mean, it's really up to like your design perspective. But that's definitely something that stood out to me when I just first got on here. Um, Other than that, I'm not sure what the main purpose of this website is. If users most likely are coming onto here just to read your content, to give away you, let me translate this. Let's make it English. Cool. Translated transcript record. We know CBT date 1. So I mean, if your users are mostly coming onto your website just to read the news or your blog post, this homepage is totally fine. But if you're trying to get users to do something else, maybe you want to add more information about what Elon Polska is, because from my perspective, I have no idea. Maybe it's because I cannot read what's on the page, but I generally have no idea what's on your website. So maybe just adding a heading in there which explains Elon Polska gaming community or blah 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 fan community, MMO, RPG, whatever that is. I think adding a bit more detail just to make it a bit more clear, because if someone comes on here who has no idea what this is, they want to have at least some brief explanation on what you guys are doing and why you guys are doing it. So I think that can be really beneficial. In terms of the design, I see they have like this white line right here. I'm guessing because the blog element has like a white, not banner, it's called I'm losing my English here. It's called the border. Yes, so you do have a border, white border on your blog post thingy. So what I would do is remove this white border because it's not consistent. If it was a white border on the other side, I mean, yeah, it will look good. But in this case, I would definitely just remove it. I think it will look better as well. In terms of the design, just jumping quickly over to the news section. I'm guessing the news section is gonna be, is it also the, okay, so I'm a bit confused now. So if I click on the news section, I'll get taken to the home page. This is just linked to the home page, right? Let me see, where do we have it? So here we do have it. So let me have a look. Menu item. Yes, it's just linked to the home page, right? So why is the news section linked to the home page and then the home page is linked to, oh, okay, and don't add video to autoplay. In some cases maybe it works, but at least in terms of sound, because it's very spammy. So I guess this is your actual homepage then. Unless translation didn't work correctly. But I'm a bit confused as to why your news section is on your homepage and then your homepage is on another URL, which is not your homepage. Because this makes more sense. This looks good. I like this one. The layout here looks perfect. But it's not linked to your, it's not linked to your homepage. Yeah, makes sense. Let me see. Okay, your logo is not okay. I would also link your logo. Make sure you add a link to your logo that goes directly to your home page. In this case, it's this page for some reason. But what I would do is definitely just switch them around, having this as your home page and then the news section just slash news. And I think that would fix what you have going on. Let me see this other section as well. System, honor system. Okay, this page is not working. Let me see the final one. This is very simple, but let me just translate it real quick. It's not translating. Okay. I think generally your website is a bit, I think you have to figure out the structure just to get it going. For the tutorials, it doesn't work, it seems like. I'm not sure what kind of element this is. It's probably gonna be, what is this? Collection, video collection filtering probably. So make sure the tutorial section works. Switch up the home and the news section. Add news here slash news. I think that's fine. Community. Maybe this says something like you have to be a member to be able to see what's on here, which makes sense if it's like requires login. So that's fine. And yeah, other than that, I think it looks good. I think just get your structure together and yeah, get your okay. I'm getting off. Get your structure together, and then I think that will be fine. Cool. Do we have anyone else who want their website reviewed? Also, make sure you guys like the video. I would appreciate if you guys can leave a like, a comment. I'm not sure if you can comment. I mean, you have the live chat. But leave a like. That's really appreciated. If you want one-on-ones with me, I've opened up my Patreon last week, I believe, because a lot of people were emailing my business email, just asking if I can help them with the Wix websites. So what I did is that I started a one-on-one consulting. So if you want one-on-one consulting, make sure you check out that link. What we'll do now, let's see if we have any other people who want their website reviewed. If you want your website reviewed, please send it across in the chat, and then I will start reviewing your website. I'm just patiently looking at the chat right here. I can see that Simon got banned for something. I'm not sure why. I can't see his message. Maybe I can. I cannot. Okay. While we are waiting for people to join in, let's actually play some music here in the background so you don't have to just listen to me ramble. Let's see, what do we have? think that's fine. Okay. Let's actually turn it off. If you guys if you guys want your website reviewed, send across in the chat. That's what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the next website. So if you want your website reviewed, please send across in the chat, and then we'll get reviewing. I think while we're waiting, we can just continue on with my website that I was working on. So we were working on the blog section. So we did change the fonts in here. I think the fonts are fine. In terms of the design, I think the design is fine. We don't want to change anything here. Video settings. That's okay. Support, no. Okay, so this is the layout of the blog posts. Hmm. This section definitely gonna change. I think the color that I used, I'm not sure about that actually. So let me not make those changes. What we'll have to do is let's open up the website, and then I use this background color, which I'm not even sure I will use, but let's keep it as is. In terms of the sign right here, we want to change this, add color, do that, that's fine. What image did I use? Did I even use an image? No, I didn't. I might want to use an image. I'm gonna keep it here just in case. Down, let's change this to Poppins, that's good. And then this should go to Poppins Extra Light. All good there as well. The read more button, let's have a look. I think, yeah, that's the design we are using. What color did we use for this? Just pure black on this container box. So let's change that. Let's change this font to Poppin, semi-bold. Oh, did I accidentally remove the text? There you go. If you guys just joined, if you want your website reviewed, make sure. How does a live chat work on Wix website? Do you literally have to be on all day to respond to the chat? Good question. It's yes. In most cases, you will have to respond. But what you can do, let me actually add it to this website just to show you. Contact. Am I blind? Where's contact? I can't see it. Contact and forms. Okay, here we go. So live, Wix live chat. I mean, there's a bunch of different live chats that you can use. If you want to use another one, you can just go to the App Store thing, App Market, that's what it's called. And then in here, you'll have some as well. So if you do live chat, TDO is very good. I'm not sure how good. So it's in terms of like the live chat you're gonna use, it's dependent on like how well they work with Wix. Tedio, for example, I'm not sure how if they work very well with the connection or integration with Wix directly. So what I would probably do is use Wix own live chat. But what will happen? What's line actually? Okay. So what will happen if you add the live chat? You just add it here. You can set the settings to only have the live chat on specific hours, given that majority of your customers are most likely not going to contact you in the middle of the night anyway. But just to make sure that no one thinks you will respond in the middle of the night. So let's see, it's going to be somewhere in here. Settings, main. Okay, it's somewhere in the settings. So what you do is you can set up, okay, I'm gonna be live between this and this hour, or otherwise what it will look at is that if you are online, if you have like your Wix dashboard open, it counts as online, so the chat will automatically just be online. Or if you have the mobile app on your phone, that will also count as that you are online. What I would do is probably set your opening hours for your store as the opening hours for your live chat as well. And then when you're not online, you'll have the, let's see if it's in here. Respond, come let's chat. Offline message, yeah. So you can have like an offline message as well. Okay, we're offline right now. We'll be live tomorrow at between 8 and I don't know 4. And then they can also leave you a message or leave their email, for example. So if you want to email them the next day, they can leave something like that as well. So that's definitely what I will do in terms of the live chat. Let me remove that. Okay, if you just joined the live stream, if you want your website review, just send it across in the chat. I think I'll be on for about 15 more minutes right here, and then I have to jump off. But if you want your website reviewed, please just post it in the chat, and then I will start reviewing your website straight away. So let's see. Cool. Do we have anyone? Anyone? I think if you don't have any other people or anyone else who wants their website reviewed, I might have to jump off. But let's see. I'll wait a few minutes just to check in. These live streams are really like a hit and miss. Sometimes we get 20 people in here and everyone wants their website reviewed. I think today might be a bit slow. Let's see. If you're joining in and you want your website reviewed, please just post it in the chat and then we'll start reviewing. Let's see. Other than that, I do have some content coming up, so I do have some content planned. We're going to continue on with the Elementor tutorial, so we'll have the next episode coming out this week. Other than the Elementor tutorial, I do have some other things I want to cover as well for Wix. No worries, Good Bakery. Thanks for asking the question. Other than that, we have some more content coming out in terms of Wix SEO. I want to cover that more in detail. I'll probably do another piece on keyword research as well. So I'm going to cover keyword research in a more of a beginner-friendly way and how you can find the best keywords to use on your website. What keyword should you target? What should your strategy be? Because what I've noticed that a lot of people, when I say something in a tutorial, people tend to take it very for granted. Um, so a lot of people tend to overuse their keywords a bit, and I think it's a bit unclear. So I think I'll have to do some sort of video just covering the basics of the keywords, where you should use them, and don't overuse them because a lot of people just tend to put the keywords in all the headings that they have on the website, and then that just ends up being very spammy, and they overall just have a low performing website. But let's see, does anyone want their website reviewed? Otherwise, I think I'll jump off here in just a second. Okay, we got no one else. No one else. Okay, then I'll say thanks for watching, everyone. If you did enjoy the live stream, make sure you leave a like. Subscribe to the channel. There will be more live streams coming up. I think I'll do a couple this week. We do have a lot of content coming out this week as well, specifically Wix SEO and WordPress. And if you want a specific topic to be covered, make sure you leave it in the comments or send me an email or just send me a message on Instagram, whatever it is. Sorry. I think that's the best way overall. And I think the good idea is when you guys actually suggest topics, usually the videos end up better and it actually fulfills the value. Because what I base it off is just what topics we haven't covered essentially. So that's usually end up being what I do on the channel. We do have some additional things coming up, so if you're interested in that, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And if you want to link up with me, you can contact me on social media. They're all going to be linked down below. You have LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. I barely use it, but if you want to follow me on Twitter, feel free to do so. But that's about it. Thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream.